Welcome to another live. I think this is three or four. Number four, I think this is. Number four's live this week, where I wanted to reach out to past clients who have been on our public speaking program because I want to find out what they're doing right now. For me, public speaking is way more than just standing on a stage and talking to people. It actually changes your life because you get to understand yourself a bit better. You understand how to communicate more with much more impact, build relationships, connect with people, and of course connect with yourself. So I thought, what a perfect example of just that than this lady here. So Angela Soong is an amazing individual. She is a prolific property entrepreneur. She was when I met her, what, 3 years ago? I think it was when you came on the program,
About
Angela.
2.5, yeah, 3 years
And
ago,
I
yeah.
remember, I always chuckle at this. I remember Angela coming on this program, and you wanted to speak, didn't you? You wanted to learn how to speak with impact so that you could develop your business further. And one of the things that we get people to do is we get them to stand on a stage and we get them to construct a talk, a 15-minute talk. And part of that talk is actually telling your story. I will remember this for a long, long time because when you came off the stage, I remember taking you to one side and say, Angela, have you any idea how powerful your talk is? Have you any idea how many lives you could potentially change? And you were like, yeah, you're cool, but I just want to do it about business. That's all it's about. I just want to do it about property. But here you are, like 3 years later, 2.5 years later, and you're doing incredible work, and you literally are changing people's lives. So, Angela, welcome to the live today. Do you want to just share with everyone a bit about your story and what you're doing with the story right now? And also, I think it's important to tell people how public speaking has impacted on your property business as well.
Sure. Thank you so much, Cormahay, for this opportunity. Um, it's just grown so much, so far from those 2.5, 3 years ago when I was up on that stage, and so when you came in, and I saw you, I thought, wow, this is a really charismatic man, and he's got something really, really for me to learn. I don't know what it is, but there's something about you. And so when I went on this course, I realized that it's just not an ordinary course. It's one where you put your heart and soul in. You when you and your partner, your wife has done an amazing job to look after all the candidates there. But what I realized was it got me learning about myself a lot more, that I'm just more than just a businesswoman. I'm more than just
Yeah.
someone who's got closed doors, hiding how my home life is, how my feelings are, because I've been blocking those feelings away for long, long, long time.
Yeah.
And in that course, when I was introducing myself, I didn't know really what my purpose was, apart from, well, I'm here to improve my communication skills, do a bit of presentation, so I have a bit more confidence. That was literally what I was looking for. But somehow the universe sent me a message and said, no, you're telling everyone what you're going through.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, I just said it, and I'm like, well, I don't even know what happened, and I made everyone cry literally at the moment when I was
Mhm.
saying, that I was literally, I just felt like I was just meeting other people's expectations and
Yeah.
living in a zone, because I've even forgotten about it now. Literally
Yeah,
living in
you
this,
know
yeah,
what? I remember you saying something like at one point, because you were describing, and it was so descriptive. It really was, Angela. It struck me right. And you were describing how you used to live as a child.
yeah,
Then you're describing relationships.
yeah.
And it's almost like you constantly lived under somebody else's shadow. I think you used these words at
Yes,
one
I
point. You're
remember
constantly
now.
living.
I think I said the word, I was hiding. I've been
Mm,
hiding. I've been hiding for an entire part of my life to
mm,
show people only what my dad and the people around me wanted to see, and
yeah,
the expectations they had of me. And the fact that at the point in time I had a divorce, and it was
that's right.
very, very hard moment in my life, because it wasn't just about the marriage itself as a partner. It was about the expectations of my mum and dad. And
Mm,
it was because, as you can see, ethnic minority, Chinese, Asian in a way. They had expectations. You've had a big wedding. You've had massive ceremonies and people looking at you, your family, and you're the oldest. So you're expected to have this perfect life and show this perfect career. You're but if you're not the man of the house, then you're the woman of the daughter of,
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
family. So I had this massive expectation of me, and I was carrying this all the way along. And when I had the guts to actually divorce, I remember my father told me never to come back home again. And yeah, literally, he wanted to disown me.
Yeah.
And I thought that was what I wanted to share with everyone because,
And
yeah,
I think, the reason why that resonated so powerfully with me, Angela, is because it's not just in the Chinese community. That could have been in the Indian community, in the Muslim community, in Asia, any of the Asian communities. We've spent so much on your lavish wedding, and we can't. There's a famous saying, really, in the Asian community, and it basically means, "What will other people say?" And this phrase is thrown around an awful lot. What will other people say? So I think communities serve such a big purpose. So when you opened up about your story, for me, I just thought to myself, how many hundreds and thousands of men and women need to hear this who've gone through similar situations? How many of them need to hear this and also know that you can find your own freedom again? And of course, you have found your freedom, haven't you? I mean, you're doing some networking. I remember you reached out to me, and I spoke at one of your beautiful networking events in a beautiful venue. Are you still doing that?
yeah. So from the doors of that, I took in consideration what you said from after the course, and I thought, I think I need to stand up for myself. I think I need to
Yeah,
speak up, even if it's not so much about the whole story about myself. I have something more to give, and I shouldn't be hiding anymore. So I should find my new light, my new. Well, I was saying that I was crawling like trying to stay for a dwarf. Of a height of a dwarf, and all my
mm,
life I'm just making sure that the light doesn't shine on me. I don't create any waves. You are the girl, the daughter, the
yeah,
wife. But I just realized I was a giant. I needed to stand up. I was so tired. And that was what it was about. And when I came out and I got the opportunity of being a Partners in Property PIP host.
mm,
So that was literally representing a regional group, property group, where people are investors, they've got money, and
yeah.
also teaching people how to make, how to run their businesses and make their property deals and all sorts successful. So I was already, in the business world of that, but I wasn't standing up to present myself as
That's right.
the experience and the knowledge I have. But then I decided to work more on the heart, which is something you guided me to
Mm,
speak about the truth about what was going on inside of me and around me. And the fact that the more I discovered on my research of listening to other people's stories and things like that, the more people are actually hiding and only talking about superficial
yeah,
knowledge, information, which you can find easily on YouTube for any training. But then how people really connect, and this is one great thing about your course call, is you connect with your heart to people in presentations, and you're trying to tell your candidates to talk with your heart, talk with authenticity. And this has
mm,
been on my mind a lot, that am I authentic? Am I talking with my heart? How do I connect with people? And the moment I start practicing connecting with my heart and opening up to exactly who I am, what I am,
yeah.
showing people my weaknesses, and stop crying about it and things like that, but it connected people with me so easily.
Well, I think there's some truth. There's a lot of truth behind this. First and foremost, I think authenticity is, and I mean real authenticity. Some people talk about it, but it's not real. But true authenticity is what captures people's attention. It builds trust, and in order for you to build people's trust, I think you also have to show your vulnerabilities, and that's what you do, and that's why people are connecting with you, and that's why. When I went to your networking event, I was surprised. I was amazed by how full it was. There were so many people there. Some of these were very successful women, and they all came because they felt something, they felt connected, and they felt it was a safe space. I was so so happy to see that you've done that. I know your property business is growing, and you're doing incredible things, and you're sitting now in Valencia, in your second house in Valencia, while your property business is running away in the background, which is beautiful, wonderful. But the fact that you're touching human beings and you're affecting people's lives, and guiding them, helping them, supporting them, I just think that completes a circle for me. Do you know what I mean? It makes you
Yeah,
feel more whole,
yeah,
and not that dwarf anymore, as you described it.
yeah. I feel, as you know, you've been a mentor to me. I feel I have fulfilled and satisfied what your course is, promoting all
Mm,
along. The fact that when I did talk, even in presentations, and it got recorded and people listened back, I
yeah,
found an incredible amount of um, ethnic minorities, and even mixed people who thought very similar. They are Asians, or they have families with
mm,
expectations. They come to me and say, even when I don't know them, Angela, I've seen your video and I'm really touched by it. I can really relate to you. My
yeah,
father's like that, or my family's like that, or I've had this situation with my marriage, and I couldn't talk about it, and things like that. And
yeah,
people come up to me, and they're strangers. I didn't, I've never seen them or talked to them. And when they've listened to my video, and people just automatically connect, and that's just through one story.
yeah.
It's absolutely
And,
amazing.
and I think the power of that story, Angela, for me was always, this is not unique. What you're talking about wasn't unique. There are so many people going through that, but they're going through that silently because not enough people talk about it. And because you were so eloquent in the way that you constructed and talked about your story, if I can feel it, I knew other people would feel it too. I'm not surprised, to be quite frank, that people are reaching out to you. And this is not a cultural thing either, because people are going through divorce, people go through difficult relationships, people have overbearing parents with high expectations, and all of these people will be feeling quite lonely and isolated. So it's great for them to know that they can reach out to someone who's been there, who's had that experience, and that they can, you know, do something with that and get some advice, or just have a conversation, really, that is going to be in confidence. And I think that's really important.
It is. And the fact is, from exposing myself to people with a story like that, I've also worked. I understand where my weaknesses are, and I've wanted to work with my family, even with my
Mm,
dad, to resolve issues.
excellent.
So, and that's been great in the last 3 years. The last few months, I've been resolving issues with my dad, and we he's even lending me money for property now. So
Oh, that's
obviously things
brilliant.
have started changing. Yeah, amazing.
So, yeah, but does he have interest rates on the money that he lends you?
He hasn't said anything yet.
That's always a tester.
Yes, yeah. But I suppose what we were saying before with the women's group and empowerment group. Yeah. So after we've done it a few times,
Hmm.
I haven't used the same franchise name again, but I've learned a phenomenal amount of information, and gathered and understood that running events like that is hard.
Yeah.
So much
Welcome to my
arrangements.
world.
Yeah, so much arrangements to behind the scenes, and
Yeah.
work to be carried out, and contacts, and almost like sometimes like you're begging people to come,
Yeah.
making sure they come and remind them and things like that. But the most important thing that I find in any event that I host, whether it would be the property event or whether the women's empowerment events,
Yeah.
is the fact that every time, every single person who comes, you want to make sure they are warm and welcomed. They feel
Yes.
that they are seen and they're significant.
Yeah.
And you want to address everybody. You try to go around and address everybody. You're only one person, with the time that you have available, and connect with everyone, and also add some value into people's life. So I learned during this time, I learned how to be a great host, how to connect people together, how to network and run collaborations.
Hmm.
So even if I've stopped running these women events now with that franchise group, I've got great friends. I've got a great network. We still have a great WhatsApp group of 30 odd
Yeah.
women in there. And out of the 38 women, for example, seven of us have got together and we're going to Nepal to build school
Oh,
for children.
fantastic.
So out of
Fantastic.
that, we're doing charity work. We run, different events going on, and
Mm,
to get us together. Sometimes nice ones, sometimes more charitable ones.
yeah.
Christmas dues, coffee meetups.
You
But
see, what I love is it's almost like I've seen this evolution with you. You weren't doing any of these things before. You were this straight-laced businesswoman, and I know you don't mind me saying that, but you were very focused around what you were doing. And I'm not saying that the course changed you completely or made you the person that you're, but it had an influence. And as you've done more and more things that are outside of that business construct, more doors have opened up to you. And I see you all the time now doing Facebook lives. You've got a great following on Facebook. People tune in, they want to listen to you, they want to see you doing Facebook lives. So, this communication skill that you've built up over time, and it's only over a couple of 3 years, this is the incredible thing about it, that you've done all of this over 2 or 3 years. And there may be some people watching this now and say, hey, yeah, but what about your property business? So tell them, what about your property business? Has that been affected? Is that better or is it worse? Where are we with the property business?
so if you're seen as a host and regularly, and you're seen as doing events regularly, posting photos up, your videos and things like that, people see you as the person, the expert of that area, and
Mm,
automatically you elevate yourself, and then you're gonna get people. You're gonna attract JV partners,
yeah,
and when you want something from people, whether it's by actually borrowing some money from the bank, or whatever it is you need to be connected to, money you want to borrow from other people, or when you want to get in certain situations, or make a phone call to someone
mm,
and saying, hey, this is who I am, look at my credibility, accreditations,
mm,
and that you're a trustworthy person to work with. I think that's
yeah,
really important in any business. But
yeah,
I find, but I don't try to do that. With being a host, in terms of property, I've never tried to gain more partners, to gain more money out of it. I just keep on doing what I need to do, because
yes,
that's I'm happy with that. But what I've done now is, because I've posted all those events that I've done, and I've been talking and on stage, and consulting with people and networking and coaching people as well. People have noticed me and they're saying, that event you did, could you do something with us?
there you go,
Could you?
there you
And I've
go.
had a law firm, a big law firm, come to me and ask, because one I know someone there who's one of the MDs, and asked me if I can do a women's event, empowerment event for business women in the next couple of months, and maybe start that, and that could be one of Birmingham's biggest women's business event forums.
Excellent. You see,
So
you just never say never. And the moment you start doing something, you never know where it's going to take you. So, Angela, I wish you all
absolutely,
the very best with that.
thank you so,
I didn't want to take up too much of your time today,
thank
but I've,
you.
I've really enjoyed catching up with you. So, folks, here you go. Straight from Angela's mouth. I haven't spoken to Angela, in 2.5 years. I think it was before lockdown when we last met. So I had no idea really where she was, and I had no idea where this was going to go. But I have a lot of faith in what Angela took away from the program, and I knew that she was growing. I've seen some of her Facebook lives, and I just wanted to sit down with Angela today and understand where she's at right now. If you too want to learn powerful leadership communication skills, speaking from the stage, in front of a camera, on a video conference, showing up at meetings, particularly if you're an introvert like I am, like Angela is.
Like me.
But I seem to attract introverts, but we don't look like introverts because we're talking. That doesn't mean that we're not introverts. Okay, so even if you are an introvert, you can speak powerfully with impact, with gravitas. You can build relationships. Find out some of our free resources at www.createandspeak.co.uk. I look forward to working with you. I look forward to supporting you. Angela, once again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Can I just say, it's all about the message. So we take ourselves away from being an introvert. It's all about giving back. It's about the
yeah,
message. What do you want to, you take yourself out of the equation. And I absolutely endorse Komahe. So thank you so much for
thank you
this
so
interview.
much. Thank you so much. All the very best. And I hope the weather's better in Valencia than it is here in the UK.
About
I've
the
been
same.
sat in my office all day long, and Angela, I've even had the heater on, but I'm still cold. And guess where I've been today? I've been teaching police officers in St. Helena, and they were sweltering hot across there. And there's me sat here talking to them all day long, and I'm freezing cold. It just doesn't make sense at all. All the very best, and take care of
Thank
yourself.
you.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye bye.